Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into the latest happenings with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and a few other notable stocks. We'll also touch on some crucial earnings reports that were just released and discuss what the media is saying about the markets, which is essential to keep an eye on as time moves forward. Just a quick reminder, I am not a financial advisor, so please don't take anything I say as financial advice. And if you could, please hit the like button. It helps not only me but also the entire community. Now, let's get into the thick of things because there's a ton of news out right now that's influencing the markets, leading to a sell-off amid growing fears. First, let's look at NIO. We've observed a sell-off that aligns with what I predicted would happen today, following my forecast from yesterday. According to the charts, still seems bearish, especially if key support levels are lost. I'll break down some critical levels to watch over the next few months. But before that, let's discuss some recent news. Unfortunately, there's a lot of turmoil in the Middle East, which is having a negative impact on the markets. The news is filled with reports of attacks, and there are warnings of more to come. It's truly disheartening to see such events unfold, especially knowing that innocent lives are being lost. This geopolitical tension is definitely contributing to the market negative reaction. Tomorrow morning, before the market opens, we have the initial jobless claims data coming out, along with continuing jobless claims. This could introduce some volatility, so be prepared for that. Additionally, Federal Reserve member Thomas Barkin is scheduled to give a speech. Depending on the job numbers, we might see a bounce in the markets. If the data is favorable, it could help stabilize things a bit. But if not, we might continue to see a decline. The charts suggest a downward trend, and there's currently a 71.5% chance that the Fed will cut interest rates by 50 basis points, with a 28.5% chance of a 25 basis point cut. The market is expecting a rate cut, but the exact timing and amount are still uncertain, especially since the Fed is not anticipated to make an emergency cut. We are also awaiting the CPI data next week. As for earnings, this morning we saw reports from Shopify and Walt Disney, and Robinhood released its report after the market closed. Disney had some mixed results. They beat earnings per share estimates with $1.39 and reported adjusted revenues of $23.16 billion. Their total operating income is up 19%, which is positive. However, despite an increase in subscribers and some revenue growth, their theme parks have been underperforming, especially in the US, where they are down about 6%. International growth is up only about 2%. Disney guidance is decent, but perhaps not as strong as some analysts had hoped. They are planning to spend $60 billion on theme parks over the next decade, aiming for accelerated growth, but some aspects of their report fell short of wowing investors. Moving on to NIO, there's a lot of buzz about the upcoming EL6 model. The company is actively promoting it on their social media, and there's significant excitement building around the launch event on September 19th. The volume for NIO is currently at 33 million, but we're seeing a decline in the price ratio as the stock loses strength. Tomorrow trading will be crucial, especially with NIO historically having a big green day only about 49% of the time on Thursdays. The stock is making lower highs and lower lows, suggesting a bearish trend. There's a chance NIO might dip towards $3.65, a support level where we saw a previous bounce. If NIO tests this level, we could see a slight gap up to $23.75 before potentially heading lower again. Tesla is another stock showing weakness. The chart is forming a bearish pattern, resembling a double top with an imbalance towards $187. There's a strong possibility Tesla might dip to this level, given the current bearish sentiment. To turn bullish, Tesla needs to break past $196, but if it loses the $190 level, further decline seems likely. We might see a gap up in the morning, but there's also a risk of dropping down to $188 or even $185 if support doesn't hold. SPY is teetering on its support levels. After losing the $518 mark, If it doesn't reclaim this level tomorrow, we could see a drop towards the $504 to $505 area. The chart looks bearish, resembling a bear flag pattern, suggesting another rejection and a potential fall back to $510 or even $505 unless it can reclaim the $518 to $520 levels. Nvidia is in a similar boat, needing to reclaim $104 to turn bullish again. Failing that, there's a risk of dropping to the $93.5 level. Bitcoin is also looking bearish. It needs to reclaim $56,000 to turn positive. But if it doesn't, it might fall towards $50, $40, and $500 or even lower to $53,000. The chart is hinting at a head and shoulders pattern, which could mean more downside ahead. The QQQ is facing resistance at $437 and needs to reclaim $442 to turn bullish. If it fails, it could fall to $423. Apple needs to break past its 50 EMA at $210 to turn positive, or else it might drop to the $205 area. IWM is bearish too, with potential support at $198 if it can't reclaim $203. Coinbase is looking weak as well. If it doesn't reclaim $189, it might drop to $169. Amazon needs to break $165 to turn bullish, or it risks falling to $158. Meta, on the other hand, needs to reclaim $192 to bounce back. But if it loses $184, it might fall to $178. Microsoft looks like it might rebound to $398, but needs to break $402 to turn bullish. If it fails, it might drop to $393 or even $388. Google is also facing rejection and needs to reclaim $161 to move up to $163. Otherwise, it looks bearish. GameStop and AMC are both showing bearish trends. GameStop might fall to $20.25, and if that fails, down to $19.64. AMC could drop to $4.68 if it continues its current trajectory. The dollar is starting to strengthen, forming a bullish wedge, which could be bearish for the markets if it breaks out towards $103.6. The market sentiment is currently bearish. We tried to bounce back but faced strong rejections, suggesting more downside ahead. Keep an eye on key support and resistance levels and be prepared for potential volatility. Thanks for tuning in and stay alert for any market movements. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing, and see you in the next video.